Hello, everybody. Welcome to Manifestation Theory. And today, our very special guest, Miss Malathy, is here on the floor. And she is a typewriting teacher. She began her career as a typewriting teacher. Imagine it's on 1991. She had completed her SPM and the certification in Pitman, London English Secretarial course. Her professional path led her to become a purchasing and planning executive at Pokka Ace. Miss Malathy ventured into the world of entrepreneurship. She joined MRF Marketing Malaysia Sdn Bhd as a director and financial controller, demonstrating her versatile experience in both leadership and finance. She became one of the pioneer in the entrepreneurship industry on those days itself, right? She was also owning Srutee Bridal and Beauty House, where she contributed a beautician and educator. She passionately teaches the course of bridal and salon management, sharing her knowledge for aspiring lot of women out there. And we are very happy to welcome Miss Malathy, none other than my mother-in-law and Mangala's mom.
Yes.
Welcome, Miss Malathy. How are you feeling today?
Hello. I'm very good. I'm so good. Happy to share things here.
Mm-hmm. So, what made you to choose to come here?
Want to share my feelings and knowledge. This is a new pathway for me. It's a beginning to actually I'm inspiring my daughter. Want to start again my journey.
All right. So, how are
Yeah.
you feeling, Mangala, about it?
I'm feeling so excited and it is so different because we have been there, we have been sharing a lot of things. You guys have seen our contents, like talking about our life journey separately, saying about it, how it happened. Now it's very special because I have mom here with us, and we're going to hear our both perspective of how the manifestation happened in our life. So I am feeling so privileged to be able to have this conversation today, actually, with you. Thank you so much for being so open and decided to share the pathway, share everything that we have gone through to the world, because that will help many, actually.
Yeah, it will be help for many. Is a like a parenting, understand the childrens. It will help many others, I think.
Yes, guys. I mean, it's her new pathway and she's just beginning her journey. And if she feels stuck, listen to that, because that's the feeling you are going to have in your 50s when you're going through your different level of parenting, right? Your kids are growing up and they're going into their own world, and then you have to face by yourself. That's going to be a challenging situation. And that goes back to the question, right? Me and Malathy are a bit similar because we both are a single child for our parents, right?
Both of them.
So we both of us, right? I understand from her perspective, so how it would be very difficult, even though we have a lot of people around us. Being a single child is a challenge, actually, right? So how did it evolve, actually? Because being a single child, and when your daughter was born, and then you started becoming a very lovely mom, actually, for her, and like taking care of her so much, right? And because I heard a lot of story from Mangala, and then what made you to be the lovely mom and to manifest beauty for your kid?
Actually, as a only child, even though it's many people over there, my mom also working mom. Um, Whenever I need some advice or I'm seeking for the love, is sometimes it's lack because she's not spending time with me more because she's working. So I have to anything I need also I need to depend on my other family members. Sometimes it's make me fear also to ask anything. Not freely can speak. So sometimes I want to share something also. It's not I'm not feel comfortable without my mother. I don't want to share with other. All these things is make me feel me as a knowledge how I going to what I'm going to give to my child. I don't want the same pattern repeat again. I want to give more attention to my children, be very friendly, give them the space to share anything, anytime, any matters, like a friendly, and then like what we call like it's not like a mother daughter. We want to be a friendly. Then only we can discuss more things, can share, can spend time. Give them the more space to be together. This is what I'm thinking. I make myself like that.
Yeah, I mean, like you are making yourself like that. But then on the other hand, this is a common thing which we see in the parents, right? So they tend to want to become the best friend for the kids. But then end up on the other side of the story of the daughter's side. So how did you feel, Mangala, when you feel like your mom is kind of like wanted to be your best friend?
Yeah.
And I used to hear you, you used to resist and tell me that, mom can't be my best friend.
Yeah, because until a age, I was like so proudly say that if anyone asked me who's your best friend, I used to say my mom is my best friend, right? But after the teenage years, after I got into adulthood, and then relationships wasn't really working, and then like I couldn't gel with most of the friends and all, I realized that I built a personality of very closed self, and also it wasn't really syncing. How do I say? It wasn't really syncing with other teenagers or how other people used to be, right? So it's more like I always come back home, I always tell my mom whatever has happened, and she used to share her perspective. But in a way, somehow parents has their fear of like, how do I say, to ensure that kids has to be in a right way, kids shouldn't be going in a wrong pathway. So the advices that we receive, it's more like from their perspective. So it wasn't really syncing. At some point, it does feel like so no one really understands me. It makes me to feel suffocate sometimes. It makes me to feel have no connection with other people, or do not really trusting other people actually. So on the other hand, it completely went into a full protective side of it. At one point, when I go through breakup and everything, she asked me actually, did I raise you differently? Like at this point, usually friends will be there and all. Did I made something different in your life? Now you feel like you want to talk to a friend, but there is no friend. You have only me, and I'm the one only talking to you. She had that moment and she asked me. But that time I was like being so defensive, and I said like, no Lama, it's okay. No Lama, it's okay. I have to deal with it. But there were a moment where she questioned it. She said like, is that like that? But at the same time, she also wants to be there because that is also her other side of, how do I say, closeness. Because for her as well, I became the friend.
Yeah, it's because we always coming from a place of like love, and also we wanted to give the space, right? So that is where we will tend to struggle, because is the space I'm giving is going to cause the loneliness feeling in the child, right? So is she going to feel lonely, or you also feel like is my mom is going to feel lonely because she don't have any friends, right?
If it's not me, there is no other friends for her. That kind of feelings.
This kind of transition happening to Mangala, right? So becoming from a teenage to an adulthood, and she's going through her own world, like two worlds she's facing, and you are also growing up and seeing her to grown up girl. So what was that you wishing for Mangala to grow as?
Yeah, actually, always I wishing her, I want her to be a independent woman, brave to handle things. I'm praying for get the wishes what she want. Which level she want to go is up to her. What she wish, it must happen.
It should happen.
Yeah, it should happen. That's my prayers for her always.
The brave, independent girl.
Yeah.
So the ambitious woman.
Ambitious woman.
Ambitious woman I was, guys. There born my hyper independent traits as well.
Yeah, I mean, like it's nothing wrong to be hyper independent, but then that's a first step to feel our own energy.
Yeah.
And then from there, when you're growing up to become a adult, you needed to understand your hyper independent is needed, but you also need to collaborate with people. If you don't collaborate with people, you are dreaming small, because you're only using your own energy, and then you're not going to receive enough love, or you're not going to receive enough money in your life,
Outside of the circles.
right? So that is the part of it. So when you were how did you see your mom when you were a kid, teenage, and become as an adult? I mean, like, each of the phases, right?
Yeah. Okay, when I was a kid, my mom, my dad, and there were my grandma and grandpa. So I always wake up to a woman who is loving, so loving. Like, she will be waking me up from the bed and carrying me all the way down to the ground floor. Like, I'll be always being carried, being fed. And also, the very hardest goodbye every morning is when she say goodbye and leave for work. So I've always seen her being a very, very ambitious woman. She's very workaholic. She's ambitious. She also tried to manage like both being an entrepreneur, being a teacher who teaches all that, and being a mom as well, to take care of me, send me for the dance class, send me for taekwondo class, send me for school, tuitions. And she tried to juggle everything in between. All these insights I've got after I grew up as a woman. Those days when I was a kid, I always see, I used to have this habit of writing diary. So I will write like, Tuesdays is my happy day, because Tuesday is holiday for my mom.
Yes.
So I've seen her like that. But as I grow up slowly, there were very health issues she was facing. She gone through few times of operation. That was like a bit shaking for me to see that my strong mom, but she is admitted on hospital. Like, I've seen her being in bed for quite some time. After that, my sister was born, and she was slowly, her health deteriorated, her esteem deteriorated, and she wasn't really showing up as how she used to be before. So I used to feel sometimes very responsible over it, or I used to a bit worry also. I have to be there with her. She's going through a lot. And I took the responsibility to be with her a lot of times. And also that made me to feel like I should grow up to be that independent woman, but never give up on things. I should be like that always. Because that also threatened me, that health issues that she gone through. I feel like that shouldn't happen for us, that kind of stuff. So after that, I used to be empathizing with her a lot.
So you were connecting with her deeply, and
Yeah.
then and then you started taking responsibility for her, because you are seeing her grown up to be a very hyper independent woman and an ambitious woman.
Yes.
And that becomes your reality, and you started trying to manifest that into your life.
Yes. I wanted to be that very ambitious woman. So I was going after studies, competitions, pageanting, whatever not. I was like, go try it out and everything. And she was also supporting towards that, like, go try, go ahead and do it.
So this is how the manifestation works, right? Because when a mom and a child are very linked, their reality is the same.
Yeah.
They become the same kind of like a personality, which means because their reality, inner reality, is becoming their personality of their mom,
Yes.
which they subconsciously don't see it. And then they tend to have like a two self. One self is the knowledge self, which is building up. Then the other self is the real personality, which is there. So these both will be colliding and fighting with each other, right?
True.
So how did you manage that actually when the personality was like colliding?
Yes, because the knowledge self will say things like go and pursue more knowledge. But the hyper independent self also has some sort of fear within, which is like will stop or impede some level of growth, where it will make us feel like, okay, what if we are only focusing on this area of life? What if you are like becoming overachiever? Then you can't really find someone who is suitable for you. So that kind of fear also was there. Like, you become highly intellectual, but how do we find highly intellectual man as well for you? That also a challenging thing. So it's like, there is always a two side, right? Want you to be the best person. At the same time, if you become very, very best person, how are you going to cope up in your other side of your area? How do we find a person who's going to be there, highly intellectual for you, or to be that very masculine man for you? So that kind of impediment, that kind of two voices also was there actually.
So this goes back to the point of like a man in your life, right? So which is like in your life, you have walked out of the house during your marriage process, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't want that to happen to Mangala, and then you are like
Yes.
so picky about that. And then how did that fear manifested actually? And when Mangala walking out of the house, what was your feeling actually? And also like when you were walking out after the engagement, so how does it feel for you actually?
Yeah, tell us more about your story as well.
Yeah, it's like a same pattern because my love life after arranged to engagement everything is suddenly a problem becoming in family. We are separated. After 1 year, then I walk out from the house. Then we get married. Same person. So it's that's why yeah, that's why it's the fear is inside. It shouldn't happen to my children. We always have to supporting my children. I always support for her love life, everything. I wish to do that, but in this case, it's happened again. Maybe it's because of my fear. I over control or what. It's happened again. The same pattern.
What did you felt after that? It's okay to share. It was very hard.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. I'm questioning myself where I failed to share with things with her, where I fail, what make me happen this again. Yes, I very conscious. It shouldn't happen to my children. We have to always support side to be side with children. But where I'm doing wrong, what where is the mistaken? I try to realize and find out that.
Yeah, it was.
So you were never failed actually, because you see the your kids are always looking at you as a role model in your life, right? So they always see how beautiful your love life was, and they start understanding, like, because a lot of story you would have told that, you know what, this is what I have been through. You would have told about like all the suffering part of it, like, oh, when I walk out of the house, this is how I was suffering, this is what was happening. But then your kid could be seeing the beautiful side of it, because the father is still with mom, and then they are still being together, and they are still having a lot of intimacy. Together, right? So you are looking at that as a love life, right? Because whatever the suffering story you are telling them, they're not going to look at it, because they are already seeing a mom and dad is being happy with each
together.
other, right? So what was your feeling actually?
Actually, when they talk about all that, right? I thought like that's never gonna happen in my life. But although they are fearing, because my parents are so loving, well, and at the same time, I do adore. Like this is, I would say, I'm so privileged in that sense, because my mom and dad, they never been shying about their intimacy, like kisses or hugs. It's been a normal thing for us to hug each other, to hug, for of us to be like hugging together, playing with dad, playing with mom. And also to see them as a couple, it made me to have a lot of faith in love life actually. I lost my faith in love life when I've gone through breakup, and then like things wasn't going well. I have to have the personality side of it, which is like I have to look after my parents, and he wasn't really, how do I say, wasn't really going good. So I thought like, okay. And then after that, I liked someone, but then there were rejections. So I felt like love life is not going to happen to me. But at the same time, I also, although she was trying to console me, but I wasn't able to take it up, because one side of it, I saw like she loved someone and she be with that someone. It happened, and they are now happily married together until now. Until I grow up as a woman, they are being so happy together. But in my case, I always have this low self-esteem that I gone through multiple love lives, and multiple times it didn't happen. So although she tried to console me, I used to sometimes even get angry and tell her that like, it's okay, you will never understand me, because you have never gone through what I am going through. So I used to have that kind of feelings as well actually. That is one of the conflicts that we used to have.
So
what was your question? Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did answer my question.
I was going to
Basically, that's okay. If if you're drifting out, that's fine, because that's the place we go into our subconscious self, and it manifests to be our fearful version, and then which is going to be saying to you that you know what, nobody's going to understand me. Only I had to walk through my pain by
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
So that is the hyper independent self, and also your fake positivity, because you could be feeling sad, but then you would be hiding it with your mom or dad because you don't want them to feel hurt.
Yeah.
So this kind of emotions will transmute into a self of you, which will feel that you won't understand me until you walk through this pain. So that creates a painful version inside you. So what was the pain you think you have instilled in yourself? Because in this kind of pattern will always instill pain in you, inside you, rather than showing it off outside to your parents, because you don't want them to feel hurt because they always taking care of you.
Yeah. Because sometimes it feels hurtful as well to be sharing to parents, because one day either first thing they will show out is anger, but then deep inside they'll feel sad. Okay, it's for my daughter. Why is this happening to her? How can we help? Actually, they can't help to certain level because they have done already to make us to grow up. Now we are the adults. We have to, go through our phase of life. That's what I used to feel, and I don't really share. I do share some part of it, the love stories. There are some part of it I didn't even share as well, which is like I feel so shameful about me. So the pain that I was instilling within me was like, I am unworthy girl. Although there were like some abuses happened in my teenage time, that time I wasn't able to share it with you because I was so fearful. And slowly as I grew up, I put in some pain within me, like I'm not really worthy girl, because these teachings we all have, right? Like you used to say, like a woman has to be like a fresh open book for your husband. You have to be like that. So that's a very basic teaching all of us have in this thing. But I was feeling bad inside of me because I felt like, okay, there were relationships in my life. There were this kind of abuses also happen in my life. So I used to close my energy and keep everything inside of me without sharing, because at one point I know, first thing, if I share, there would be anger. Second thing, if I share, behind that anger, there would be sadness. Like, to my kid, all this thing has happened. That's what the feeling that you used to have. Right? In Tamil. என் பிள்ளைக்கு அதெல்லாம் நடந்துச்சு, that kind of feeling, right? So I just keep in within me, and I feel like even if I share also, it's going to be hurtful. And I was feeling like unworthy. I was feeling shameful about me. I felt so guilt about me. So all this was my painful version within me, like by suppressing everything. And yes, that also manifests as health issues, like my bloating issues, gastritis issues, putting weight over my belly area. I had vaginismus. Until I know you, I didn't know that I was having vaginismus. I was only having painful menstruation, which also she was having in her teenage time. So I thought because of my mom also had, I also had. And after she gave birth, it was gone, the painful menstruation. So I was having all this thing, the pain that I've been instilling within me, it also manifests as the physiological condition within me for many years.
So because of the hurtful version, because of your sadness, like Mangala was suppressing her health issues. I think there was a conversation we had one moment. We were like the same thing, like for my kid, is it happening, right? So on that moment, it was very heatful conversation, because where we tried to bring you back into our life, but then you were so angry with us, and then you left us, right? So what was the thoughts came to you on that moment? Because that's that moment you're also manifesting a separation with your daughter, right?
Yeah. First, I feel like maybe she think I'm not a responsible mother. I never understand her path. But what I think, I always with her, I supporting her, whatever it is, I free to share with me. But this matter, how come I don't know? Then maybe they feel I'm not a good mother or what. That painful, like hurting me, like people blaming me. You're not there. You're not supporting your daughter. You're not share anything. You don't know about your daughter's issues. Is feel like I feel sad and hurting, disappointment also.
Because in her perspective, she always want to be the good mom, responsible mom. So when things, she realized that there are things I don't know about my daughter.
Yeah, because I'm thinking I'm spending my time for my daughters. I'm always there. I'm caring of them. always I'm thinking about them, what to give to them, what to do, provide to them. So I'm thinking I'm using more time for my daughters. When I listen like this, oh, I never do my part correct or what. That the feeling I had that time. That's make me, maybe I show face angry.
Yeah, totally understand.
So basically, this thing like, am I being a responsible mom? Am I being a good mom? Guys, remember that this is going to manifest as a pain in your daughter's life or your son's life, because the more you are trying to be responsible for everything happening in their life, you are manifesting a lot of fear in their life, because you needed to believe in their own energy, because you had given enough. Because if you haven't given enough, like example, like Mangala wouldn't have this much of knowledge, and she wouldn't have this much of exposure to face the world by herself, which is her beauty pageant journey, right? So you went until the finals of beauty pageant journey. So how much you're grateful to your mom for that, actually?
Very much, very much. Because one fine evening, she saw some ad or program in Astro, I guess. And then they were talking about it seems. I was away, I guess. I went for a class or something.
Yes.
But when I come back, she took all the contact numbers. Okay, I had to find how to register and everything. And then she told me, Ma, there is a beauty pageant coming. This is especially happening for Malaysian, Indian, global stuff, everything.
Woman
Say,
empowering.
It's so empowerment for women. It seems. Go ahead and go register. I was like, really, me? I used to be taken aback last time a lot, but she has been a very good pushing factor for me to go forward, go and do it. At the same time, she also will be following me to be there. Like, go do it, I'm here. Go do it, I'm here. So both sides was there. So she always wanted me to go and pursue. At the same time, she also wants to be there for me. If anything happens, she want to come and hug me. She wants to see my happiness as well. So she also be there. So I initially in 2014, I participated. I came up to semi-finalist. After that, in 2019, I participated. I became a finalist of Miss Malaysia Indian Global. I was so grateful because she always find ways to make me feel good about myself. And I also will pursue that. I believe that, okay, whatever she said probably will be helping me. And I believe and I'll go ahead. But at one point in 2019, I went in because of a distraction, because I was going through breakup. I was in very, very low self-esteem. I forget to smile often, actually. Be there at home, I will just sit like that. And I understood that you can't see me like that. And then she sent me again. She said, like, why don't you go? You go there, you'll see a lot of empowering women, talk to her. I would also thank Mrs. Rani for this. Like, she's the founder, and she is an amazing, inspiring woman. So my mom has a lot of faith that, if you go there, you talk to them, and, you will find yourself again. You might find yourself again. So I went, I did. And they were always there. They were always been a support system for not only me, for many, many women out there. They were always been there for us. I did went, but at the same time, I have to walk through my own journey. Although there are people giving you energy, you have to bring your energy by own and walk through your journey. So that was a period. It was very tough for me because I was in these two places. One is like I have to excel in it. Second, I was going through a lot of depressive state within me. So that was also very hard. But I am always grateful for my mom for being that very inspiring woman, and also for believing in me and making me to go ahead and do it. Same thing for my master's studies. She wants me to go ahead and do your master's, do it. And till late night, if I was sitting and doing my projects, she'll be sitting up there until I go and sleep. She'll be just sitting there. She'll be doing something. As long as she's there with me, she used to do all that. So you have given your maximum already. So even if anything goes wrong in my life, that doesn't mean that you are not a good mom. You're always a good mom. But at the same time, when you feel that I'm not a good mom, I want to do more, that's when actually sometimes it makes to be like, conflicting, suffocating, and then things go wrong. But this is what I want to say to every mom out there. You're always a good mom. There is no good mom or bad mom. You're always a good mom. And At the same time, we don't own our kid, and we are not 100% responsible for our kid's life, because that is a separate being and they will find their ways in their life. We just have to be there to facilitate and just be a space like that.
Yeah, this is what I understand when Mangala walk out for herself. This is the matter I understand. Kids have their own path. We cannot always secure them. This is what I understand. Yeah.
Thank you so much for
It's
sharing.
eye-opening also after we're sharing some methods, everything. Today I'm here because I understand the situation and the kids part. When we're sharing something, I get some knowledge. When I sharing with Dilip also, I get some knowledge. This is kids. So they have their own life. They have their own path. They can manage their path life. They can manage. We no need to always be there. We have to stop in the one place. After one time, there is a stop point for her. Let them to go to experience their world with their knowledge, without our guidance. This is what I understand after these things happen.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to share with all the parents also.
so
There is
emotional.
some stop point for us to let them to go to explore their life, explore the world.
I think it's the transition period, right? So when a kid is moving from a teenage era to adulthood, the inner reality is shifting, because when your kid is until teenage, 80% of your kid's growth is dependent on you, right? The moment a kid is moving to become an adult, 80% of their growth is dependent on their own energy. US is only 20%, but we always confuse ourselves that because of our societal norms, they tend to call you as and you are not having a responsible mom. Whoever is blaming you for you are not a responsible mom, this is for all the moms. I would like to tell you guys, whoever is blaming you, even it could be your mom, saying that you are not a responsible mom, you are not taking care of your daughter, you don't know about your daughter. Remember one simple thing: they weren't feel enough within themselves as a mom or as any role they are playing, and they are instilling their 80% of their flaw inside you to make you feel that you are not good enough, even though you have done 80% of your job very well. I don't even usually call it as a job, sorry, it was my mistake. You have been 80% of yourself. That another 20% for your kid, it is until the teenage they have to do by themselves. After that, it's a very big shift a kid needs to walk through, because imagine from 20% of responsibility they are becoming 80% of their responsibility for their own life. It is going to shake their reality. So during that period of transition, if you notice, that's when there's a lot of separation will happen between mom and kids. That's when all these things will shaky, right? So never blame yourself for the 80% of the flaws which people are instilling you, because it's not your own voice. It is coming from the outer world.
Outer
Do you
voice.
recognize it?
Yes. Yes, true. I recognize it. After I'm sharing the things with Mangala, she gives some awareness talking to me. Then I realized that yes, it's true. Whatever she tell it's true. It's the outside energy is the words they're telling is drain our energy, saying that I blame myself. Oh, I'm not a good mother because people telling like this. After this experience, I share with Mangala some points, what people telling to me, what I'm feeling, all these things. Her point of view, she told me some, she was sharing the moment, and I understand that this is the what. We should listen our inner. I know I'm doing my responsibility well, so I no need to bother about what people telling me. I realized that.
We had a coaching session as well, guys.
Yeah, I have to thank Mangala.
So basically, that happens. We will always build up a confident self by all ourselves, right? Because this 80% of voice is coming from others. We will always build up a very big shield around us. When that shield will break? When you have a health issues, when you are growing up old, that is when that shield will break. and then you will start absorbing all the voices into you as a health issues. I think you can elaborate it better.
Yes, very much. Because each time when we have energy in our life, when we are like go and thriving in our life, we protect ourselves with anger, right? We get angry. At the same time, we direct channel that anger towards our job, career. Let me go get it. Let me make more money. Let me do it. But for a prolonged period of time, you were operating with that stressful state, anxious state. It was not sometimes confidence, it was anxious self to go and get it. With that, after some point, you will see the aftermath, the consequences. Those anger manifest into other health issues, hypertension, diabetes, heart issues, or gastritis issues, because we have been always operating from shame, right? So even this always goes back to the part I said, like which are the chakras is getting affected. And then comes a situation in life where you cannot really channel all this anger into your hard work because your body is not really supporting. That's when even more things will be shattering you, feeling so unworthy, because your worth, you have always put it on the work you have done, the work that you always go and do. But when your body is not supporting and you can't able to do that work, that's when you feel so shattered, so unworthy, and internalize all those vices that you had last time. You direct it, you distract it towards anger. It was always there at the back of your head. That was fueling you, and that will just consume you. It will just consume us and get into those whatever not health condition, and go into a cocoon and feeling bad about everything and be in a resentful state.
Yeah, so that resentful state would have brought you into a very regretful state when Mangala and you were separated, right? So what was your feeling when you both were in separation? Because all the while you were like
Together.
holding her into her
Yeah.
into your self always, right? Suddenly you had to open your arms and let her go. So how was that resentment? So what are the regrets came to you?
Actually, it's a very painful moment. It's a very painful moment. I can't explain it. I'm terribly missing her. Like I can't think about tomorrow. I've been in that situation. I don't know. It's a mind block. Everything is blocked for me. I don't know what going to do without my daughter, because she's always there for me as a friend. I can share everything. As a friend, as a mother, she's doing all the roles to me. It's a very painful moment. I can't explain it also. I'm really terribly missing her.
But were you, because this is the same, because guys, this is where it will get really interesting, right? Because even though Mangala was with me, she always had a two sides. So whenever her mom's calls, she will really feel a painful situation in her heart, but then she will mask it, and then she tend to tell me that, you know what, I'm okay. And I will ask her, are you really okay? Can you really go deep within you and ask yourself this question, right? And this has manifested as a constipation issue in her health, which she didn't even recognize it actually.
I used to bleed. I was having IBD, irritable bowel syndrome. So whenever I go into this state is like mixed state, no? I will be having anger inside of me, like why you didn't understand me. I was always with you, right? You know me, right? Why you didn't understand me. Deep inside, my mom is not there with me. The one that I always be with, the one that I'm getting emotional.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Like it was like whatever she said, it was very true, which is like I used to share it in a very funny manner. I was parenting my mom. But to be honest, I did it with so much of love. And there was a point where she lost her mom, and I was there. I love my grandma a lot as well. That was very, very shaky for me. The first death in my life was very shaky for me was when my grandma gone, because she was the person who raised me when I was a kid, and I love her a lot. And she loved her a lot as well. But there were anger as well. Very similarly, I love my mom a lot. Like I said, although now I'm telling that, mom cannot be a best friend. You shouldn't be parenting a mom. Till now, I was like talking it in a very resistant way. But however, the self of me was loving it. I was loving the friendship that we had. I was loving to be a mother for my mom, like to take care of her, to just be there, to provide everything and tell her that, you know what, you're fine, you're safe, I'm there with you, I'm there with you. So when we are no more together, it's like a 1 day shift. Like at that night, things happen. The next morning, I just walk out without taking anything. I feel like I just want to go. I'm done. I'm going to go. So after that, it was like, it was hard. I never shared to her that time. I never said to you, but it was very hard. Whenever you tries to call back, like that time, I think I've got COVID, and I posted story, and at the moment she knew it, and she couldn't really stop herself because she called and she tried to talk to me. That moment was like so shattering because there was like months we wasn't speaking. Like they would try to reach me, but I said like, if you keep calling me, I'm gonna change my number, everything. Now you have my number. If you keep calling me, I'm gonna change everything and no contact, right? So they understood and they stopped contacting me. Thank you. I mean, it's like you respected my word. But after months, the moment I hear her voice, it was like so shattering. At the same time, I cannot control my anger also. Anger also was there. Love also was there. It was very hard.
Isn't it the anger which was manifested during your pregnancy period? You feel like your mom wasn't there with you, your mom wasn't taking care of you during your pregnancy period. Isn't that the similar situation between you both as manifested?
No, when I carrying Mangala, my mother was there.
No, I was talking about your second daughter.
Yeah.
So where there is a separation was there, where you were facing anger with your mom, even though you are facing your health issues. Isn't it that similar which Mangala went through and you're going through? Because what I see, there's a lot of parallel things happen in your life, right? So which you guys don't recognize it because why, guys? Because you cannot recognize your parallel thing because we always dwell into the pain, but we don't really understand there was a love in a separation. So there is always love in a separation, which we don't really recognize it. We only focus on the pain. This goes back to my mom as well, my grandma as well, right? So they always focus on the pain more than love, right? So after through doing my healing journey, I went back to them and then I tried to connect with them. They always come from a painful questions, right? So they always ask me like a very painful question. So these kind of things will push the kid to go, because even though we grown up as an adult, we did your healing journey and all, we try to go back to them because we always connect with them, right? So that is the moment which made me a realization that I need to become an adult and I need to embrace the part of love in separation, because that's my lesson came to me, and that's when I was able to guide Mangala, saying that, you know what, you have a love in separation, but you're not really accepting it.
Yeah.
But you're really only focusing on the pain, anger, but deep inside you are feeling sadness, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it's true. Like there is a love, but the anger is on top, overshading the love. Inside is deep inside is we love them actually. Only the anger is shield. It's true.
Wow, this is like a moment because like her life and my life somehow getting parallel with the emotions. Although the context was different, people was different, but with the emotions, it's getting parallel. That kind of feeling. I think in the age wise, I guess.
Yes.
Almost, right?
Almost,
this
yes.
is my 29, 27 that time.
My 30s.
30s. Oh, yeah, when my sister was in her.
Sometimes this is the magic of universe, guys. You guys won't even recognize it.
Oh my God.
It will happen parallelly on the same timeline, right? So whatever the pain your mom is going through, you might be facing on the same time. And remember, deeply remember, this is what you're going to pass on to your kid as well. So this is the place you needed to generationally break it down and manifest a better version for your kids. And that is what even made me to make a different choices for my kid, right? And it was also shocking for me when I was able to connect with my dad and then realize that, hey, this is all happening in a parallel timeline for me and my dad actually.
His dad and him was also having parallel timeline.
Yeah, so because he wanted to go through his divorce process, but he didn't make a choice. And we are coming from a very different world now because it's a hyper independent world, and we will get our divorce process and everything going on, and then we'll go into that mode, right? So this goes back to the question, right, where I had been through my divorce process and you are a person who never even asked about my divorce process, where even when you know my separation is happening, And I mean, like, not that my separation was happening. After my separation,
Already separated.
I meet you, right?
Yeah.
But then you were not having any questions or doubt about me the whole process. So what made you to be the space for me?
Okay. I always adore your intellect. Like whenever you share things, when you question me, and I can see the perspective, how you are thinking, your perspective, and you are a coach, and the wisdom that you are giving to the world. Through that, I could really connect that this man, he is an amazing and powerful man. He stay in his insights and he shared that insights to the world. So when I see you as you are, this backstory is what actually not a matter for me, because you already told me, and this is the part where I don't tell you that I trust you, because I trust you. Because I trust him. It's done. It's default, right?
Yeah,
so I don't
because
have
many
to
of
tell
my friends ask you, how did you trust him? How did you trust him? You will never have a word to how to say.
I don't know how to say. I trust him because no, because I trust you. That's it. Dot. I trust
Yeah,
you.
because for the trust and love, if you are trying to find a reason to manifest, guys, remember that is the place you are betraying your love actually, because you are not really understanding what is your true love you are having within you, which is loving that person 100% with full of trust. There is no explanation is needed for trust and love. When
Yeah.
you are trying to explain it, it's already not a love, it's a fear.
Yeah. So yeah, when you say it, I take it as it is, and I know that you are in a separation and you used to be alone and everything. So I take it as it is. And also, for me, I didn't had this constraints of going into a second marriage or these things, because I feel like I've gone through love lives multiple times in my life. We just don't count it because we don't traditionally married. But however, everybody has relationship, first relationship, second relationship. Everybody has it. So I just see it as it is, and I do see him as a very precious being actually, and I loved him so much. I love him so much that time. So yeah, I go ahead with our relationship actually.
So I think there was this part of it, right, where your mom knows that we are going to get into a relationship, and then they were trying to protect you from me,
Yeah.
and which wasn't never been a conversation as a
It's a very
as
not
a-
an active conversation.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it never happened before our separation, before we walk out of the house, right? But it's just that blocking the energy, right?
Blocking anger, yeah.
So what was your feeling when you know that I already have a kid and then I'm walking out of the separation? And what was your feeling as a mom for your kid?
Yeah, as a parent, we always thinking that, like, what I come to know, Mangala got shared with me, there is a coach, guide her, everything. First, I think is a coach, guide her when she was in breakup, everything. And then day by day is the conversation, all like is different. Then what I thought is, I don't want my daughter to go into a family. She going to spoil the family. I got the fear because I know by Mangala is a separation, but what I think separation is not a solution. Anytime they can get back together, because there is a kid there. That's why I fear. I don't want my daughter cause to damage break a family. That's the first thing I'm thinking that. That's why I try to protect her. I advise her, this is not your path, Amma. It's a family. It's a family man. Because I don't know, it's end up with the divorce. Because that time, I know it's a separation only. Separation anytime can be closer. They can patch back. That's the fear I have. That's why I stopped Mangala to connect with the Dilip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because from her perspective, like yesterday when she said, I realized that she got into a fear that what if they got back together and then I gone separated, then what will happen to my life? Those kind of fears and all she had, it seems.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we started connecting as an alignment with our vision, right? And also we made a decision. I think we have also shared with you guys. Like, we made a decision. Arun is our only child. I mean, like, for all of us, it's not like we are trying to pull him away or anything. He's the only child for us. And also we wanted to serve many people who's going through this kind of separations, who's going through this kind of parental and child challenges. So we wanted to be the space and help those people to grow in their life, to manifest their dream life, manifest their love. I think that vision was connected us actually.
Yeah. And you know what? By the time I was having this feeling like I better go to ashram and do things, he was also had that kind of feeling. And getting married was not even in the plan. He was just like, okay, let's live together and go ahead and do things. So getting married was not even in the plan. It's because we was developing our business and everything, right? So he felt like if anything happens to me, things should, be there for you. Let's get legally bonded. That's why we wanted to, even for that, we wanted to make it like, okay, let's do legal bonded things only. But it led us to go and do the marriage as well because it required for the legal.
Yeah, so suddenly I received call going to marry.
She didn't know. She didn't know that I'm going to get married. It's like, as we was doing our office work, it was like, okay, this is a thing needed, this is a thing needed. Okay, for this clause, they said we have to get married. Okay, let's get married. Let's make it simple. And then we informed, okay, we got to get married
next month.
Next month.
So
she was able to do
So I think this goes back to the point of like, guys, I mean, like, whatever the fear you have, it will come through your partner of your daughter or son, right? Because whatever the fear you have for your daughter or son, it is going to transmute to the partner of your daughter or a son. Remember that, because whatever the fear you're fearful about the daughter, I mean, your daughter's partner or a daughter's even kid, right? So whatever the fears you're going to have is going to manifest. So what you needed to recognize is, you needed to recognize the fear as love, because you're coming from a place of love. Start focusing on that intention rather than having the fear and try to block the fear. Guys, remember, fear is a very, very, very powerful. Actually, not powerful. Fear and love has the same power, but the vibration level. Imagine when you are going through painful moment, you see 100 people will be around you to say this, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. When you are in love, then those painful people will be moving away from you, and then you will feel like only connecting with this person, and then you will start feeling that shaky, that, oh, my world is going to change and my reality is going to change, right? So remember, fear has a one kind of like unique vibration which will transmute as a guilt, shame, self-doubt, unworthiness, and anger, right? So anger will be the very important element. You will be able to notice your fear. So whenever you are having anger with your daughter or with your daughter's partner, remember that it is your own fear.
Beautifully said. Yeah.
So this goes to the point of like, because you are too fearful that Mangala is going to leave. So what made you to become an abusive self of you came out? So where do you think your abusive self of you came out to like put her and house arrest her? She shouldn't be going out, walking out. Isn't that a pattern repeated from your life?
Really, I never do that. I never house arrest anything. I have a fear. Maybe she put a leg in the wrong path or what. That is a fear. That is make me angry. One day before she left house, I show the anger to her. This is what I want to try to let you know. You must understand before you take a decision. Whatever, if they together means, what are you going to happen? That's a fear only I'm having on that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a pattern. The pattern is like before you go out with Appa, they did a lot to you.
I suffer a lot.
Yeah, like every day, like did you talk to or did you met him and stuff like that? And then, like you said, you were put into a different houses.
Yeah.
Right. So when I hear all those stories, one similar thing I saw is like the fear turned into become fierce, like fearful mom. Like in my perspective, it becomes like, oh no, there is so much of anger, so much of fear to the point where why do I have to still be here tolerating all this? That's what was my feeling like, because it was very hard on that day actually. It was like to the verge on that day actually. So that was something that we didn't spoke about after
Yeah.
we got back. We didn't even speak about it because that is the side that even she hate to see, and even I don't want to see. But however, I think now we have to make peace with this is what has happened, and I think I'm okay to share about it, to talk about it. Like this is how it happened,
Yeah.
and this is how we evolve through it. Actually, it made it to make a decision to like go and live with him, or else probably I wouldn't have done that also.
Actually, first my mindset was whatever my kid need, I have to provide them. Life also under her hand is her decision. But this time it's make me take to different decision. It's always I'm manifesting that whatever she want, she must get. Her life for life also. I don't want to ask her to marry somebody. It's her wish. Whoever she bring in, I'm okay with that.
And then you didn't expect I'll bring this.
Because this one is when that time I'm feeling like complicating. How to accept? What will happen after they get back in good family? What will happen to my daughter if I say okay means what will next? I'm complicating with that these matters only. Just want to make it you to you're not getting my support on that.
So that's why whenever you feel like I don't want her, that's why whenever you feel like I don't want my daughter to walk through this kind of journey, so remember, write that down and then strike off the don't, right? So then you will see I want my daughter to walk through this journey, and it will also say that I want my daughter to go through a complicated relationship. And in our case, the complication relationship was manifested within the parents' relationship, not within our relationship. We were able to be connective, but then end up on the other side, it become complicated. But of course, with the consciousness, with the manifestation, you guys can really get back whoever you lost in your life. Get back whoever you are angry with. Get back whoever you are feeling painful self with, right? If you are feeling separation, remember there is a part of you which had love. Don't try to erase that piece of it, because the more you are trying to erase the piece of it, it is going to manifest into an anger, and it is going to manifest in either a health issue or even it's going to manifest into a money issue, right? So which goes back to the point of like we face the money issue in our relationship, right? So it's the same phase they had been through also, the entrepreneurship phase.
Yes.
When the point of like when they were losing the entire
Business.
whatever they have built together as a couple, it does impact a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
So what were you feeling on that time when you're like losing all your business?
Remember, you both as a
Yes.
couple started, and then
Yeah, we started a business. It's end up like not successful. Just I need to close the business. It's very sad moment. Like something is closed because I want to grow up. Suddenly, it's a block there. It's very sadness. Yeah.
we did gone through that phase as well. Like we was
So we were also facing that closed situation, but that is where, guys, you needed different level of energy within you as a couple, because this is where you both need to break the ceiling of the closure. Because if you don't break the ceiling, because that's where you needed to think differently. But I'm really grateful to Mangala on that time, right? So she really supported me, and she really bring the insight and light, whatever that I have coached her, she paused and coached me back. Dilip, you are trying to go into a loneliness. Can you recognize it? Because we are here as a couple, we could be able to walking through this path. And it was our 6 months period. I mean, like our recovery period only begin in last month, right? So we started recovering back whatever that we have lost. Of course, we still had to pay something back, but we were able to recover from there, right? So that is the energy you needed as a couple to break that fear. Actually, it's not to break the fear. Sometimes the fear will be realistic, like we faced, right? So the fear was realistic. The
yeah.
baseline. When you have a
Has to be
baseline
met.
issue as a couple, first you both need to fix the baseline, right? Don't overcome it. Don't go and do the things which you are not capable of doing. I mean, like in the sense of like money level, I'm talking about. You are capable of doing everything, but then this baseline money, if there is a challenge, you needed to pause and reflect. Okay, where can I bring it back? It shouldn't be coming from a survival energy. I'm really grateful to you that you never brought it into a survival energy, and we were able to break the ceiling, and we were able to be happy for our coaches who has helped us, like Joe Dispenza, Jeffrey Allen, and also Vishen, and whoever is our coaches, right? So we have so many coaches, guys. I mean, like we have followed so many people, and we have gathered a lot of information and insights, and those all the insights was helped us on that moment when we were breaking down as a entrepreneurs and as a couple, right?
Yes.
And we were really grateful to my parents who was able to pull off our wedding, right, in India without our, I mean, like guys, we didn't even have much money, which was very survival need we had, but then they pulled it off our wedding in India.
And we come back here
And we come back here, and you guys pulled it off our dinner.
in Malaysia. It's like also the same thing where we didn't contributed financially for that. Actually, both of our parents was being there for us, to celebrate our relationship. Actually, we are so thankful to Amma and Appa who are there in India, and also so thankful to Amma and Appa here for making this happen. Actually, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility, Amma.
Yeah, so this is where it comes to the point of like the social responsibility people are instilling in parents, which can manifest into fear, and that fear can transmute to your kid. And if your kid is going to carry that fear, and it is going to limit them, it is going to limit their manifestation, it is going to block their soulmate, it is going to block their money, and it is going to cause some health issues in the future, right? So for you as an entrepreneur mom, and now that you are trying to build yourself back, so what would you like to speak to those women who is going through all this kind of journey, like from the teenage, from an adult, from becoming a mom, from and then becoming an entrepreneur, and then again going through some health issues, and then facing all these things and facing all these societal words? So what would you like to tell them? What would you like to give them as your one insight you wanted to share to them?
Like you have gone through this journey in your life, right? Then you are being here to share about it.
Yeah, it's very important. It's self-confidence. We must don't lose your confidence. It will bring you further. For if you're confident, it will be further. If in my case, after I getting sick and this and that, my confidence level is very low. That's why I couldn't achieve my dream. I couldn't continue with my business journey, my entrepreneur journey, because I feel very low when I have a sick mentally and physically. That's the one. That's the thing. It stopped me to continue my journey. That is very important. We must have confidence. I can do it. We have to separate our sickness and this apart on side. We must go what we dream. We must achieve that. We must put energy to achieve our dream. Let's say we are entrepreneur, we have to do the next level of that. We must bring it to next level. Don't sit there because I thinking we cannot do. Now I'm start back again because now I have a new energy. I know my insight. I bring back my energy again. I want to go in this path. I want to bring my confidence level again. I don't want to think about my physical sick or anything. It's a part. I know how to cure it also. So I want to bring a new energy within me. I want to bring back the energy. I want to go my path to do something in this age.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're
That's
so
what I'm
inspiring.
thinking. Thank you. This is what I dreaming now. I'm manifesting now. I can do it because I got a lot inside. I want to bring it back. I want to proceed that.
Lovely. Thank you.
So what is the insight you wanted to give to the world? Because your mom is disintegrating the sickness
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
mind and
Yeah.
all these things, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
when it comes to the disintegration and the fear manifesting into the daughter's life as it is, and it's going to be the exact same as it is. So what would you like to tell to the parents? So how do they see things as it is?
As whole.
As whole.
I would say when we see ourselves as whole, we definitely will make another whole human being to be uplifting themselves and nurturing themselves and grow with all those empowering beliefs that we are saying to them. It will just be born within them because they are seeing a wholeness, a holistic ways of living of parents, like in terms of their health, in terms of their wealth, money, and also relationship. I would say, like whatever mom's shared, I'm so happy and grateful and inspiring to see her speaking this and to share with everybody. I would like to add on the piece that we have to integrate them all. We do have to think about the health, but not about the sickness, but how can we be healthy? So, what can I do to be healthy? Like, make it as our part of being to be into our being fit in our fitness journey, having a good diet, having a good sleep, and also moving towards our, these are the experiences that we'll feel in our body, right? Moving towards our growth. What kind of growth? Physical growth, mental growth, or financial growth? What kind of business growth I'm bringing in? Any type of growth, right? And contribute. How am I contributing it? It can be to the family, to the kid, or to the society around. So we are actually living a whole life as a holistic being, and definitely that is going to inspire our kid to see us as the role model and to make them to be whole. Like holistically they will be developing and growing up. We don't have to do extra to them. It's just that matter of we doing things for us. We inbuild that transformation within us by not seeking validation outside or motivation outside. It's just completely solely be born and live as us, and they are going to live it as well. And it's going to be a beautiful space of learning, nurturing, and growing as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving a great insight to summarize this whole thing, right? So, if you are a mom, want your daughter to be an hyper independent woman, daughter to be an ambitious girl, daughter to be an entrepreneur, remember your daughter only not needs to be responsible daughter. She is having a loving version of herself as well. So she has to embrace the whole lifestyle within her. Is not only she need to walk through to be confident, to be strong enough in the world. It's also the moments where she needed to understand that you are already being a responsible mom. You have given enough to your daughter, and have faith in your daughter instead of blaming, which is like coming from an outside world. You needed to be the shield to understand, is this blames I needed to give it to my daughter, and you can always have a choice to put that blames aside, and you can always see what is the path your daughter is walking through, and you can always be beside them whenever there is a transition between a teenage versus adulthood. You really need to become a facilitator. You cannot be holding their hands, because you need to let them walk in front of you, and then you really need to see them. And whenever they fail or fall, you just be there for them, and they're going to only come into your lap. They're not going to go away from you. And all those daughters who are facing challenges as a separation with your mom, remember that you do love them, right? Even though they have been through their anger or their sadness, you do love them a lot, and remember that actually. And that separation doesn't mean that you always need to label it, this is a good relationship, bad relationship. Whenever there is a separation, there is no such a thing. It's always the love and pain is connected. But what you needed to understand is the love has more beautiful energy than pain, rather always connecting with fear and pain. Why not you guys start living in love and embrace love and transmute more love to the world? And thank you so much for everyone watching this fear. How is it going to manifest into painful situation for your daughter? But all the desires you have for your daughter is going to manifest into reality. So which one you will make a choice? The choice is always yours.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you
very
everyone.
much. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
guys. I would say that the part that you said, desire manifestation also happened and happened right now. And the part of being love is what connected us back.
Yes.
The intention we had, she went to a surrendering phase of, I only have love. And I went to a surrendering phase of, I only have love now. If it comes, it comes. And always I have to be the space of love. And then we got connected. And here we are sharing about our journey here in podcast. It's so dreamy. I feel so good. Finally, we made it happen. Yeah.
Thank you, Dilip, to bring me in this situation, because I've been in a coach session with Mangala.
Yeah.
I understand more about the love. Even as a normal we know we are loving, but is in deeply I travel to get what is love. Not always we protecting our kid is not doesn't mean it's a love. Let them to explore. Let them see growing. We are when we are seeing our kids is growing by herself. That one kind of love. That also love is very. I don't know how. It's a very happy, to see as a mother, as a parents. My daughter is growing by herself. It's very. I don't know how to share it. It's no word to say.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, right, when you're trying to justify your love, it's not love. You're trying to find reason.
You cannot
Right.
find words.
So you can't
the
find
feelings.
words.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Glad that you felt it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Thank you.